Imagine a time when African Americans were denied basic rights in the United States, forced to sit in the back of the bus, or separated from white people in certain places like schools or restaurants or even the water they drink. Today we will explore the Civil Rights Movement, a crucial chapter in our history that sought to dismantle racial segregation and fought for and secure the equal rights for all African Americans in the United States. Everyone has rights and should not be discriminated against. This is something we struggle with in the United States and why a movement was made not too long ago. According to the article written October 27, 2009 by History, the Civil Rights Movement was a struggle for social justice that took place mainly during the 1950s and 1960s for African Americans. Hi, my name is Martin Camargo, and as someone who has personally been discriminated against or seen discrimination in my personal life, I come with you with this topic about the Civil Rights Movement to remind and inform you about the important event that happened not too long ago. In this speech, we will cover the historical context about the Civil Rights Movement, key events, and influential figures that played an important role in this movement. Let's start this by discussing some historical context of the Civil Rights Movement. According to an article written by the staff of history in February 28, 2018, Jim Crow laws were a collection of state and local laws that legalized racial segregation, named after a black character. The laws, which existed for about 100 years from the post-Civil War era until 1968, were meant to marginalize African Americans by denying their basic right to vote, hold jobs, get an education, or other opportunities. Those were attempts to define Jim Crow laws, often faced arrest, jail sentences, violence, and deaths. Simply put, African Americans didn't have much rights even after the Civil War. They were free, but they were still discriminated against for their skin color and treated less due to their color. The nature of these laws were created a climate of injustice and created a collective response to the African Americans and their allies. According to an article published in 2018 by Annette McDermott, explaining the impact of that World War II had. World War II dramatically changed the world. Not only did African Americans get drafted and went to war, but they played an incredibly important part in World War II. The jobs in American to help out the war effort. However, when the war ended, these African Americans that fought in the war returned, and they were treated as second-class citizens. The war impacted the perspectives that African Americans had, who were unwilling to tolerate the racism after fighting for the country. Simply put, after the World War II, African Americans were back to being treated bad and as second-class citizens. This made them, especially the ones who fought for our country, not tolerate racism anymore and fight for their rights. Now that we have talked about some of the historical concepts of the Civil War, let's dive into some of the key events that marked the Civil War movement. According to an article written and published on December 1, 2020 by Sarah Kettler, in December 1955, Rosa Parks refused as a black woman to give up her seat on a bus in Montgomery, Alabama, sparked a citywide bus boycott. Parks, a respected member of the African American community, was arrested for not giving her bus to a white man. This caused a boycott, which made the bus system cripple, as many of their customers were African Americans. This resulted in Brower v. Gale, which made it unconstitutional for segregation on public buses. Martin Luther King, in his I Have a Dream, perhaps the most famous speech in American history, this speech envisioned a world where racial equality and the end of discrimination, a sense of hope that the future will be judged by the character, not by their skin color, but by their character. Now that we have explained some important events, let's turn our attention to influential leaders who shaped this important movement in our history. Important and influential figures in the civil rights movement. Martin Luther King and his nonviolent philosophy. He believed you can fight evil without violence, that love and peaceful protest could overcome hatred and violence. He was an important part of the civil rights movement with his peaceful protests and speeches. He was an important figure in the movement. Rosa Parks and her role in the movement. After her arrest for not giving up her seat to white men, she was seen as a symbol of resistance in American society. This caused the Supreme Court to pass a law that made it unconstitutional for buses to be segregated. She was later referred as the mother of the civil rights movement, and she was an important in the movement as she was very involved after she was released from prison. In summary, I have explained to you the historical context, events, and influential figures of the civil rights movement, showing significance in the fight for equality. The legacy of the civil rights movement continues today, reminding us of the struggles for justice and equality. Equality is ongoing today. We have to play a role in upholding these values and moving forever in our society. Here is a visual aid of what racial segregation and what they were fighting for in the capital of Washington, D.C. They were all fighting for their rights.